Crash Team Racing, the last entry into the Crash Bandicoot franchise from Naughty Dog, later would be taken over by Activision. And boy did they go out with a bang, a kart racer easily to rival Mario Kart itself, and what I consider to be the best kart racer of all time. With Crash Team Racing Nitro-fueled coming out, it's clear to see that Crash Team Racing was a success with fans. But what made this game so good? Well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. Let's review the original Crash Team Racing. Starting off at the title screen, we have Adventure Mode, basically the story of the game, Time Trial to test your racing skills, Arcade where you can race against the CPU, Versus is your multiplayer, and Battle is where you have to hit your opponents enough times to win. You can also check high scores as well. We will of course be in the Adventure Mode for the majority of this review since that's the main event, so here's a brief introduction to the story. The alien nitrous oxide challenges planet Earth to a race, so the best racer faces off against Oxide to prove who's the fastest. If you fail, he'll turn our planet to a parking lot. So we don't really have much of a choice now, do we? So between our 8 racers, Crash, Cortex, Coco, Engine, Tiny, Dingadal, Polar and Pura, we drive around several tracks in 4 areas so we can attempt to race and beat nitrous oxide. Pretty simple story. I mean, it is a racing game so it's fine, though fun fact, Naughty Dog was trying to end the franchise by adding an alien, and did the absolute opposite. Guess we like aliens. As mentioned, we have 8 characters to choose from to start the adventure. You've got Balanced, Advanced, which is top speed low turning, Intermediate, which is high acceleration and what most people would consider the best, and Beginners, which is low speed but very good turning. You drive around 4 maps with 4 tracks to go through. After each 4 tracks are completed, you are challenged by that area's boss comprised of Ripperoo, Papu Papu, Komodo Joe, Pinstripe, and of course Oxide, the final boss. You race the bosses one-on-one on their track, while they constantly throw certain items at you. Oxide even gets a head start and throws everything at you. Each boss has their own dialogue as well before and after you beat them. Though, bless Ripperoo, he still can't speak English. Even the characters are all voiced when overtaking, throwing items, or taking a hit. There are 18 tracks total in the game, most of them representing the characters. Each time you win a race, you get a trophy. Then once you beat the boss, you unlock a key to the next area. One thing I like about this game is after a race, you all stand on a podium for 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. And each character will have a victory animation if they are 1st, or feel utterly defeated if they are 2nd or 3rd. Brings personality to the game. Once you defeat Oxide however, he refuses to leave until you collect all of his relics. Once you've beaten the boss of the area, you can do either a CTR challenge or a race for a relic. CTR challenges, you have to collect the letters C, T and R and come in 1st place to get the token. Relics return from Crash Bandicoot Warped and you can collect the time boxes to slow down time and beat the trial. If you collect all of the boxes, you get 10 seconds off your time. You've also got the crystal challenges where you have to drive around the battle arenas collecting crystals before the time runs out. I don't like these. If there was anything I don't like about CTR, it's these. The game isn't designed to collect stuff efficiently. The whole point is to race. Not only that, there are TNT and Nitro crates scattered around to get in your way. A lot of the time you will need to slow down, reposition yourself to try to get the crystal. At least you sometimes get a bomb to blow the crates away. Once you've gotten all the tokens, you race all the tracks again, but this time as a Grand Prix Cup style. If you have the most points by the end of the 4 tracks, you win a gem. The Purple Gem Cup will pit you against the bosses once again, but all at the same time. Once you have all of the gems and the relics, you unlock the last 2 relic tracks, Slide Coliseum and Turbo Track. Then you can race Oxide one last time and he finally leaves. CTR doesn't hold your hand, but Aku Aku at the beginning will appear explaining what to do and giving you tips on how to improve. Of course, if you don't care, you can just press the triangle button to skip it. Quite a lot to do in the adventure mode, which I appreciate, and I love the gameplay, so it's tons of fun. Speaking of the gameplay, we should probably talk about that. Crash Team Racing is your typical kart racer. You can gain a boost at the start of the countdown if timed correctly. You pick up items in crates such as missiles, TNTs, potions, bombs, and even Aku Aku or Uka Uka depending on if you're good or evil. You can also collect Wumpa Fruit, which increases your top speed. When you max out at 10 Wumpa, you are considered juiced up, which means your items change for the better. Things like TNTs are now nitros, bombs will be slightly bigger, shields will become permanent, and your mask will even last longer. If you get hit though, you lose Wumpa Fruit. The controls are smooth, easy to handle. I never feel like I struggle, and if I do, it's usually my own fault. If you feel like you're a pro, try a fast character. If you need more turning, start with beginner characters. One of the things that makes CTR stand out when compared to Mario Kart is the boost system. You can do a power slide by holding the R1 button while turning, but as you're turning, the meter at the bottom will glow green to red. When it's red, pressing the L1 button will give you a boost. If you do this 3 times, you get a much stronger boost. Keep doing this to go faster and faster and maintain top speed. What some people call Sacred Fire. Not only that, you can hop by pressing the R1 button, and by doing this off a big height, you can also get a speed boost. If you manage to maintain top speed, you can even avoid missiles. This game definitely promotes speed and using that to your advantage, making CTR a more skill based game, which is what I enjoy most. There's nothing more annoying than maintaining first place and then getting hit by a blue shell, right? Now that can happen here, but if you're good enough, you won't let that happen, which prompts you to get better at the game. Originally you have 8 characters, but by completing the gem cups you can actually unlock the boss characters to play as. And by being the purple gem cup, you unlock Fake Crash, which was only a cameo in Crash Bandicoot Warped. If you beat the time trials, you get to race against Entropy's Ghost, and if you beat the ghosts, you unlock the Time Master himself. Now at the time, people thought that Nitrous Oxide was going to be playable since you can also race against his ghosts, but that wasn't the case. The only way to play as him is via cheats, and he was not designed to be playable. However, there is one character that can be playable, but only via cheat. You can unlock Penta Penguin, the penguin from previous Crash games. It seems Penta was planned to be included, but they ran out of time, but his character was still in the game. Though he is playable, he is a little buggy. In the JP/PAL version, all of his stats are maxed out, but he was intended to be like Polo and Pura. Now you can of course unlock all characters by cheating as well, but where's the fun in that? For me, the enjoyment comes from beating challenges to earn the character. It feels so satisfying to do so. Speaking of characters, Komodo Mo was supposed to be with his brother Joe, but was cut once again due to time constraints. There is one more rumoured character that was cut, a completely original character like Nitrous Oxide. Some people who have the Japanese NTSC version stated that when they put the disc into a computer, in the files there is a character under name Fasty, apparently protected by Uka Uka, drives a gold car and to be the unlocked character of the purple gem, but ended up being Fake Crash. We know little to no info on this character, so there is a lot of mystery behind what Naughty Dog had planned here, but it is interesting to talk about.
I love Easter eggs like this. Secret/hidden characters or scrapped characters, references or just uncut things in general. You know, you get an idea of what the developers were trying to do, or at least intended to do, but just didn't make the final print. What could have been.
I was always somewhat disappointed that Dr. Embryo wasn't included. I always saw this as Engine being the replacement, since after Crash 2, Bria washed his hands of Cortex. That's why people are excited for the remake, as this could open up the possibility for characters like Embryo to be included this time around. By fully completing the adventure mode, including getting at least the gold relics, you unlock a scrapbook video of the development process of all the Crash games done by Naughty Dog. It's pretty cool. Now I will say, if you want a challenge after beating adventure mode, tackle the time trials. Though after unlocking Entropy, you don't get anything for beating the outside challenges, which is pretty unfortunate. So unless you just want to challenge yourself, you can pass on these. Okay, the models for the characters and carts aren't the best, but it's PS1 polygon graphics. At least the models on the podiums are fine. The levels are nice to look at, but a little empty at times. Adding more obstacles like Crash Bandicoot enemies or lab assistants throwing potions could have really added to the level's character. And maybe, just a little, since I grew up with Crash Team Racing and not Mario Kart, that nostalgia is making me a little biased. But I do, till this day, find this game the most enjoyable kart racer, and I really enjoy Mario Kart 8, a game made much later. So for me, at least for now, CTR still holds that title of the best kart racer in my eyes. Vicarious Visions would later make their own Crash racer, Crash Nitro Kart, and then later a third game by the name of Crash Tag Team Racing. Now let's hope that Crash Team Racing Nitro-fueled will make the game bigger and better than ever.
I can always go back to Crash Team Racing, and I have so many fond memories playing this game with my friends growing up. If you haven't played this game before, guys, I would highly recommend it, and I would definitely consider picking up Crash Team Racing Nitro-fueled when it comes out. Now, of course, I cannot confirm how the game is going to feel, the controls and all that jazz, but I have faith in Beanox. So, in considering what we've seen so far, I think it's fair to say Mario Kart better move over, because I think there's a new kart racer in town. Or is it old? Reimagined?
If you like racing games, how about checking out the best Sonic racing games on the screen right now? And make sure to check out my Crash Insane Trilogy review for more Crash Bandicoot goodness.